Hey, it's Adam, and you're listening to The Adam Cobb Show, weekly content devoted to all things fitness, finding your center, and fumbling through fatherhood. Thank you for taking the time to tune in. We hope this is a space that you come to, that you can feel connected. We're better together. Please subscribe and follow all of our social channels so you don't miss a thing. Let's listen to today's episode. Recently, a client flew in from the South. When we met, she talked really, really fast and she was really overwhelmed. She had a lot going on and she was sort of not breathing as she was talking. She was sort of doing this and blah, blah, blah. And I did this, which is sort of like an imaginary joint. And I said, here you go. And it breaks her pattern. She laughs. I do that with my mom. I do it with a lot of friends. And I'm just like, here you go. And she laughed. It broke her pattern. And what it did was it allowed her to breathe. But then I didn't pass her another imaginary joint. I simply passed her a straw. And I said, with this tool, we're going to deepen our breathing today. And a lot of people ask me, hey, what do you do when you do these like client immersions? And it's hard to sort of put, 3 to 4 days of immersive experience into I do this, this, and this. But I want to share a portion of that with you today. Because I believe in this fast-paced world where we're bombarded with social media and news and just inundated with more pictures and more sounds and a bazillion podcasts. And thank you for listening to this one. We can have a tool, a simple straw. So as you're listening or watching, if you have the chance to do this, I'd love for you to pause and go get a straw. Do you have one handy? I hope so. Now, you just push play. Great, thank you. Okay, you're gonna take this straw and you're gonna use this tool, this simple tool, to slow down, sort of like downshift your nervous system. I'm imagining as I'm even saying those words, downshift your nervous system, that you possibly took a deep breath just by hearing that. Right? Breathe with me. Take a deep breath right now. In your nose, out your mouth. Because a lot of the work that I get to do with people is getting them to pause. And in the pause, what do? Guided imagery, breath work, prayer, whatever needs to fill that space for them. So back to the straw, what we're doing with this. This straw represents sort of a bridge. And you can see that if you're watching. And the bridge is simply this. This is a bridge to your breath. So I want you to see this as a metaphor. Looks like it could be a bridge. And it's a bridge to get from no breath to breath. Okay? So we're going to take this straw here. And it's simple. I'm going to try to do this with the microphone in my hand. We'll see how it goes. So you're going to put the straw in your mouth here. You're breathing in. And exhaling. Okay. What does the straw do? Why the straw, Adam? Great question. The straw, because it slows down your exhale. And I believe that exhale and your exhale is your engine for stamina, is your engine for momentum, is your engine to pause and slow down for a moment. So what this straw will do is you'll do 1 to 2 minutes of deep breathing. Usually that equates to anywhere from 5 to 10 breaths. And when you have a very hard time breathing, I like to take the opposite hand and sort of put the opposite hand about 6 inches to start from the straw. So you breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, and hopefully you can feel the breath, the exhale with the opposite hand. That's not holding the straw. And then with each exhale, you just take that hand and bring it out an inch further and an inch further, getting it to the point where you're about 1.5 feet away from the straw. And at that point, you're taking long, slow exhales and you're slowing it all down. And I'm not sure about you, but what I know about myself, all my friends, all my family, all my clients, is that oftentimes they just need a reason to slow down. And I'm hoping that this moment right now is your reason to slow down. You're listening to this right now for a reason. And this is your message for you to pause, breathe, pick up that straw, or even if you don't have one, you can make sort of like an imaginary, think of like an imaginary straw, and you're still breathing through that, wanting to touch that hand that's a little further away. My challenge to you is this: to take 1 to 2 minutes, if you haven't already, and breathe through that straw, the imaginary straw, to balance and downshift your nervous system, to bring a little bit of coming back home or centering or groundedness to you right now, because that's going to impact your work. It's going to impact your wellness. It's going to impact your peace, your presence with your friends and your family. From what I know from breath work and doing this with many, many hundreds and hundreds of people, is that it gets you to be the best you. And it gets you to be more present with your breath. And if this silly straw could be a bridge to finding your breath, then wouldn't you take it? So pack a straw with you wherever you go and just try it for a week. Comment on this. Let me know how it goes. I look forward to hearing from you about this, even if it just made you laugh. But what I know is it's going to slow you down a little bit. You're going to breathe better. And I don't know anybody that would say, I want to breathe less well versus I want to breathe better. I want to breathe well. So I encourage that you try this tool to breathe well, to get back to you, to feel centered. Here we go. B-roll. But more importantly, and the reason why I want to share this is because this significantly helped my client. And it got her to understand her breath in a longer, sort of more exaggerated way. So as you do this, you're going to put the straw to your lips. You're going to inhale through your nose. And you're going to just do an exhale. Inhale through your nose. Exhale. Our exhales, we want to be anywhere around like 4 to 6 seconds. So 4 to 6 seconds, long, slow, and a little bit softer even. And now you're going to take your opposite hand and you're going to put it about 6 inches away. Go ahead. And now you want to feel that exhale on your hand. Yep. I can feel it. You can feel it. Great. And now with each exhale, as you're learning this sort of bridge to your breath, slowing down your central nervous system and creating a calm, you're then going a little further away. Let's do 1 more inch away. And then on your next exhale, another inch away. And we start to inch out. And we get to have anywhere from an inch to a foot to 1.5 feet away. And as you do this, breathing, exhaling through the straw, we sort of check in with our face and our eyes. You might want to close them for a moment and see if that impacts your breathing at all. And you soften the eyes and the mouth and your jaw. And you enjoy this breath. Maybe there's a color that comes up. Maybe there's a shape that you start to see. But we're open to what's on the other side of the breath. What we know is calm, connection, presence will definitely find you there. Great, Gene. All right. What was that like?
It's good.
It was good. Calming.
Definitely took me somewhere.
And it took you somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. You did it. Check. Roger.